What's up, guys? So, one of the things about my strategy, everyone has a different strategy, but for my strategy, it works best on days where we've got the ES on a trending day or there's a lot of volatile action between two major levels, breaking through levels, back testing them, continuing, or days where we've got really just clear setups on the candlesticks. But today was a day that I said at the beginning of the stream on stream. You can go back and watch probably the last video that I uploaded, the live stream from this morning, August 23rd. I said early on that today was likely to be a choppy day. And so in this video, I just wanted to quickly touch on like kind of how I clued into that. Obviously, I can't predict the future, so I don't know if today, I didn't know today was going to be a choppy day, but it was my guess. It was my lean was that today was going to be a choppy day and much more difficult to trade than kind of the prior days that we've had. So let's jump into the charts and I'll just give you a few clues because it's really important knowing ahead of time whether it's going to be a choppy day or a trending day. Based on your strategy, you might prefer one over the other, and there might be days where you really should focus on sizing down, taking less size, and that's what I did today. Was I took less size and I had really close targets, really close stops, and was a little bit more creative in that sense and deviated from my strategy a little bit just because of the price action that we were seeing. And on these days where my strategy isn't really great, price action like today's doesn't really favor my strategy. Really, the goal is just capital preservation more than anything else, right? You're not necessarily even trying to make money on these days, more so just trying not to get hurt. And if you can come away with anything, you're gonna be happy about that. So let's jump into the charts and take a little bit of a look at what I'm talking about. All right, so this is what today's action looked like, and you can see I've got the ES up on these three panels, and just right off the bat, like we just got really choppy trading here, very difficult trading overall, a lot of kind of fake outs in either direction. And I did say on stream, that was kind of what I was guessing was going to happen. If we were to jump over to a daily time frame here on this chart. Let me go to the daily chart. It just kind of happens to work out that kind of we get these trending days and then we get balance days, right? So that's just how it goes, man. You get these sections of balance right here and here in these boxes, right? This is kind of all one big balance section right here. And then you've got these kind of breakout sections where you get a few days of like really good trending action in these sections here. And so after 3 or 4 days of some kind of clean trending action, 2 or 3 days, and then coming into this prior zone, this is just looking at the daily chart coming into today, we're at this level kind of 41.50, generally this vicinity of price where we've got just kind of choppier action in general. So when price comes back into this section, we might think that price congests a little bit in this general zone here coming into today. Today was a continued move to the downside, but you can see that the day was just a lot smaller. The range was a lot smaller than the last couple of days. But the general rule is kind of after 2 to 3 days of strong trend, or in this section here we got several days of strong trend really, but there is often chop mixed in with it, and it's very rare that you just get like just bars just going up and up and up. You get these balance periods in between. So after a couple of days of trending action, if you look at the daily chart, it kind of just becomes like a probability at that point that hey, we're kind of due for a chop day. So like having that right off the bat is just kind of like, okay, you come into the day, right, and let's kind of reset a little bit from those trending days. So like when I sat down today, when I was writing in my notebook today, my plan, I literally like had that reflection like, okay, we've had a few trending days, like let's like think about, let's watch the price action, but let's think about sizing down and let's be careful and not go, not trust that price is going to continue the way it has been, right? Let's predict a little bit of fake out tricky action, right? Let's be someone that's ahead of the curve and not getting trapped like other traders are. So put yourself in that mindset, right? Are we due for trend, right? If you're in this chop, maybe you're anticipating that breakout, right? Because we've had so much balance. But typically you want to wait for that major level to break through and then get yourself in that trending mindset, kind of look for that continuation, and then once we fall back into oh, we're kind of due for chop, get yourself in that mindset of, oh, we're due for chop. So that's kind of what I try to do, and that's just looking at the daily chart here. But if we move back to just at the open today, right? Coming into today, the chart looked like this. We had come down yesterday to about 41.31, bounced a little bit. And then in after hours overnight, we put in this low, 41.20, and then we had this big bounce back up to this level here, this supply zone that I drew out, 41.50, 41.55. So what I like to do right off the open, and this is especially helpful on days where you might be anticipating chop, is just mark out the closest supply level and the closest demand level to the current price. So that's what I did on the open here. Right on the open, we're coming down kind of right into this kind of little pivot point demand section right here. So just being patient off the open, no surprise, we get a bid up there straight up into supply. Looks like we're breaking out of supply, but this is where that fake out comes in, right? So on those days where you've got that mindset like, oh, I'm kind of anticipating chop, like I don't know, today feels a little fishy, right? Looking for this pivot right here. I was looking for 41.65. I said on stream I want to see 41.65 capture and hold and look strong, and I want price action to look strong there. There's other things I'm looking at we could talk about in later videos, but just I want price action to reclaim 41.65 and start to look strong there. I actually took a short on NASDAQ as we started to fail at this level, falling back through supply. I got chopped out of the short, but then went back in again and caught a nice move on NASDAQ as the market started to come back down, because on that false breakout, the target becomes the other end of the range. So there's other opportunities to find in a choppier market. My advice is just size down and play the range, right? Look for more range-like trades where you're trading between two levels. On these trappy days where we've got a pause of the trend, of the current trend, a lot of times your mentality should really shift from like, okay, no longer, we're not moving from level to level lower, right? We're not moving down, we're not stair stepping down anymore, we're kind of chopping sideways, right? So short the tops, long the bottoms, and that kind of came into play here. This afternoon I did not trade any of this. I ended the stream after about 2.5 hours, but I did take several trades. Again, you can go back and watch those, and I ended the day, I was up like $30, like $20 after commission, so I didn't even like make really any money, but I took a few trades. And really, again, the goal is capital preservation. I made a couple mistakes. If I had been a little bit better, I probably would have come away with a little bit more. But anyway, my whole point here is just that you've got to get yourself in the frame of mind, like after a few trending days, kind of look for that choppier action, anticipate the fake out. And then the last thing I would leave you with is also just be very mindful. I personally, in my strategy, I weigh very heavily the structure, the shape of this 15-minute chart. So coming into today, or looking at today's chart right now, like for instance, take this for example, like this bounce off 41.31 basically comes down, taps that, we rip back up, but because look at this 15-minute candle. This 15-minute candle takes us from 31 all the way up to 53, so it's very, very quick. And then this candle, brief hesitation, and continuing up through the supply zone. How vertical this is, right? Just how vertical this move is, anticipating that trending day. I really do want to say that when I saw this happen and I saw it start to fall back through, that's instantly when I knew that I could label today as just a choppy day and trappy day to kind of stay away from, right? Because we got this false breakout, a lot of that morning volatility, you're going to get the best move in the morning. And if that's failing us, we come right back into the range, and it's just at that point kind of a done deal that like the whole rest of the day is really just going to be rangy, choppy action, trappy action, and a very easy for my strategy to get burned here if I'm not careful. So, right, be mindful of the 15-minute structure. This just doesn't look, it's too fast, too quickly on a better setup, right? On a better overall structure, I might have liked the move, but it's just too, this energy comes out of nowhere. It's one of those things where once you watch price action for long enough, you'll start to see what I mean. But this 15-minute structure is just, it's not bullish despite the fast move up. So I'm not too surprised that we kind of stalled out here right at this pivot up at 41.65. But personally, my strategy is very level based. I look for levels to capture and hold, or if we come up super quickly into a zone like this. I've said this before, when you come super fast and up into a level, a lot of times off the open especially, that level will hold and trap traders on the breakout, and it will fail right back through. This is something you see a lot. So anyway, again, the big thing is just after a couple days of strong trend, right? We had really strong trend even overnight between the 2 days, so just really strong move down. looking and anticipating for that choppy action. So just basically pre-market, check in with yourself, look at where we are at the open, and you can see that, you know, this overnight, this big pickup, that's really where the trending move kind of stopped, right? We're making lower lows, stair stepping down, very steady action. We come down, make a final low here, and then for the first time, we don't put in a lower high, right? We actually tick above this little pivot high here. So that's the clue right there. And then right off the open, right here, falling back down into the last pivot low, and then picking up, right? If you're just a little bit patient off the open, you wait for that 15-minute candle right here, and we come up, and right there, that cements, okay, there's something different going on now, because we're no longer stair stepping down. We're not getting the lower low. So all of a sudden, the structure looks a little bit different, and it's time to be cautious. It's time to anticipate the trappy action. So that's all I was trying to convey there. And anyway, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Again, all these videos, this is just me talking about what I've noticed from trading. I don't purport to be some expert. I'm not an expert, just a person. I'm relatively new to futures trading, but this is just sharing with you patterns I see in the market, and just sharing with you as my journey progresses, basically what I'm learning, and patterns that I'm noticing. And this is something that I'm noticing, is that you can kind of predict whether a day is likely to be a trending day or a choppy day. You can't be sure, you know, you can't predict the future, but you can look for clues and give yourself that edge. And for my strategy, it's really important to not get burned on these choppy days, trading back and forth, looking for breakouts, looking for continuation. So for me, I'm just trying not to get burned. Anyway, guys, again, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, join the Discord. If you want to become a funded trader, Earn to Trade, 20% off link on all their valuations is in the description. You can check that out and check out all they have to offer, multiple ways to get funded, and very favorable withdrawal limits, I would add as well. And I am personally going to be starting their Trader Career Path program next month, so I'm excited to show you guys that as well. All right, anyway, that is it from me, and have a good rest of your night, guys. I'll be live tomorrow morning, 9:20. All right, see ya.